Saylor goes full-on attack mode against XRP, ADA, BNB, Sol, and ETH, saying they're all securities and they're gonna get wrecked this summer. What's my guy talking about, and does any of this have any legitimacy behind it? Well, let's talk about that in this video. And as is customary on this channel, viewer comments come first. Jim Z says, well played. Eula Rosales says, badass, good for you, man. Congrats. That's right. Had a little race action today. Check it out. Little first place in the age group, 34th overall. I will take it. That's what happens when you get a little older. And yes, I am wearing the mushroom tank top. And I did do the choo-choo, bitches. I did leave out the bitches part because I didn't think that was appropriate because there were kids there. But I did do choo-choo. Now, Bitcoin choo-chooing, 63,573 ETH, 3123. ETH is making another move, but listen what Saylor's got to say. Dude, Saylor is crazy. He's nuts. He's a total maxi, okay? And you just have to think about that. But I want you to hear what his logic is, okay? BNB, by the way, getting ready to touch 590. Speaking of getting ready to touch, we're getting ready to touch 20,000. If you touch it down there, you can make 20,000 happen. Think about that. What about XRP? XRP sitting at 53.5 with XLM 11.4. VeChain 3.7. Okay, so why does the heat map look a little weird? And did you notice what sector is hot? Okay, the sector that's hot is meme. Check this out. This is over the last week, this heat map. Doge up 16% in the last week. PayPay up 15. Floki 12. What about my main man, Dog with Hat? Where's Dog with Hat? Dog with Hat over the last week? Almost 13%. So there are sectors in the market that are a little hotter than others over this last week. But BNB is at that 600 mark. Sol looks healthier, okay? And we're all thinking the same thing.
My bitch better have my money.
Yeah, I mean, basically, because that's what it all comes down to. If you're in it for the tech, good for you. If you're in it for getting crypto and Web3 tail, let me know how much action you're slaying. And is the action anything better than a 6.5 or a 7? Be real here. Be real here. What the hell is the point of having a scoreboard if it's with sloppy wins, okay? Let's get back to the crypto, okay? Dog with Hat, price surges 21%, all new time high. Yeah, like I said, meme is what's been popping over this last week. But what's also been popping is what Saylor has said. Now, like I said earlier, he is a maxi, so you just have to take what he says for kind of a grain of salt. But I want to bring this up because he does have some valid points, right? Not every story is a slam dunk. Not every win is just mashing people's faces. No, there's sometimes where you win some of this, you lose some of this, but overall you're a winner, right? Well, when he's talking about securities with these, he's talking about right now that the SEC is investigating Ethereum and looking into the idea of some of the stuff on Ethereum constitutes securities contracts. And so what he's saying is, look, the SEC isn't going to just keep delaying with the ETH ETF. Instead, what he's saying is that the SEC is going to say, we're rejecting it completely because some of the stuff on here is going to be, under the securities umbrella because of contracts. The SEC, as previously reported at Times Tabloid, is investigating whether certain Ethereum transactions qualify as investment contracts, which could affect the fate of Ethereum-based ETF applications. Saylor criticized popular altcoins like ETH, XRP, BNB, ADA, and Sol, calling them unregistered crypto securities. Now, granted, Torres, we get it, okay? Torres did her thing. She did give some clarity on secondary markets, that good. But if you still have primary as a mess, and again, remember, the SEC they got the win on primary, and that's where this is all kind of messed up. If primary holds back a lot of the ETF action for this, you saw what the ETFs did for Bitcoin. You don't think there'd be more players for the ETFs for the alts because the alts are that much more inherently risky? So the ETFs would be a way to be able to kind of hedge that too? I mean, you could play shorts and all sorts of juicy stuff. Come on, everyone. That'd be kind of crazy, right? So what Saylor is saying, well, here, better yet, let me do this. Let me play this real quick here. And as always, any article you see in this video, along with all my other ones, will be linked in the description below. Just take a quick listen.
going to be approved. Sometime this summer, it'll be very clear to everyone that Ethereum is deemed a crypto asset security, not a commodity. After that, you're going to see that Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Ripple, Cardano, everything down the stack is just a crypto asset security unregistered.
Okay, so essentially what he's saying is once ETH falls, okay, that's basically then going to put everything else underneath it, right? Looking as the same thing, right, as unregistered securities. And essentially saying that once that happens, once the SEC says, you know what, we're not going to extend listening to the whole ETH discussion here, we're just going to flat out reject it, that from that point on, he's saying Bitcoin dominance is going to explode. Because he said traditional money. I'm sorry, I'm just doing a lot of paraphrasing here because, dude, like, I don't want to get like copyrighted or anything like that, but like, and dude goes on for a while. But like, what he's basically saying is like, look, the institutions are going to come out and go more into Bitcoin because the options then of the alts are going to be deemed unregistered securities, and they don't want to get involved with that. So it's a very interesting premise that you see here from Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. I get what he's talking about, and I also see that there is some complexity. There is some action on Ethereum that probably does look like securities, right? I mean, some of the smart contract stuff, like, come on now. That like, there's pretty much implied contracts. There pretty much is contracts there. It's contracts within the code. So I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, I think it's a lot more complex than that. I think there are some of you out there that are in the same camp, right? That, you know what?
My bitch better have my money.
And yes, right, the majority of us are there for the speculative reasons. But there are some of you out there that get into it for the building. There are some of you out there that are into it for the utility, the tech of it. Okay, is that number small? Yes, but guess what? That number is still there and actually has to be legally represented. So this is a very gray area that we're in. And honestly, you're seeing what's happening with the Ripple and SEC case. It's going to be dragged out even longer. You're going to have appeals, and eventually we're going to go to the Supreme Court. And that's what's really messed up about this whole thing is we know that there needs to be updated regulations because the complexity of a lot of these different crypto projects is so crazy. Like, there are flat out some projects out there that do not like at all fall under anything security wise. I mean, just at all. There are some out there that sure as hell are secure. There's some out there that are just like gambling, right? So realistically, we do need new regs. And what Saylor's saying is that the SEC is, since they're not going to get reined in, they're going to drop the hammer this summer. And once the SEC drops the hammer on the ETH ETFs, everything else will fall in line, and big money will be essentially forced to go to Bitcoin, and the alts will collapse. Now, a lot of what he says, I get it. It does make sense. But there's, like I said, a lot of complexity out there. And we just don't have the regs. And in fact, the problem is going to be this. One country is going to have regs like this. One is going to have regs like this. One's going to have regs like this. And yet people are all trading the same thing. So we're headed in one heck of a mess here. In the U.S., it looks like it's going to end up in the Supreme Court eventually, right? That's honestly how this is going to look. In Europe, we've seen this. Cool, you're going to get some regs, but you know what you're going to get with that? They're going to get more control. There's going to be a little bit more KYC, AML, a little bit more government involvement in your crypto. And we don't want that either. So that's the news today. Speaking of today, yes, I did run a race today, 10K, no big deal, but you know what I got to do now? I got to do 2 hours in the rain. Yeah, I got 2 hours in the rain. See, I don't run 10Ks, I do ultras. So for me, this is part of my training. So today is my long run day. So I'm going to take the 10K I did on there, and I'm going to stack at least another 25, 30K onto that. At least another 25, 30K on there. And then that'll be a good long run day. So got some running to do in the rain. I'm going to have to put my boonie hat on and all that stuff and the waterproof earbuds and keep hydrating and all that kind of stuff. But that's my kind of fun. Let me know what your kind of fun is down below. And let me know what you think from my main man, the crazy man, Michael Saylor. I'll catch you cool cats later, because this cat is going to get his money. No, I'm going to go get it running. I'll see you.